Hi everyone, so I thought I'd bring you through all the different versions of my journal from the first one to the final one, just to kind of show you the progression of the journal over time and also to kind of run through why I didn't choose earlier versions of the journal. So let's go. Okay, so this is the very first version. So basically, my journal has always been landscape, which is what I wanted. However, on Amazon, you can't do a landscape hardback. So I went for portrait, but in my naivety, I thought it'd be cool to do a landscape cover so that it would just flow with the internal. The issue with that is that the thumbnail then on Amazon was stuck on a sideways cover, so I couldn't go with that, unfortunately. When I was going through the design, I had everything proper orientation, and when I decided to do everything sideways, technically the way this is, to get it the way it currently is, I had to get the designers to completely flip the orientation of every single page, so it was a lot of back and forth and extra money to do that. But yeah, I was really delighted when this book arrived, my first book. Okay, next up, to fix the thumbnail issue, I decided to do a portrait cover, but it's still landscape inside. So again, now I had to get the cover changed to a portrait cover, which we have here, but there were a couple of actual issues. So this is very kind of like purpley. There's not much pink on the front. This is not centered. And then it's all kind of like a dark pink at the back. So other than some design issues, this would have been version 2. So next what we have is like kind of version 2.2, I suppose. So it's the exact same idea, only that it's more pink at the front. The spine is centered and it's blue and pink at the back. I could probably do with a bit more blue, honestly, but it doesn't matter because this version was really delayed coming back. It took over a month for it to be delivered, and in the meantime I had found another printer outside of Amazon to go with. So yeah, that's the end of Amazon. The other printer then sent me 2 different types of samples. One is actual proper landscape, so you'll see it's not portrait pretending to be a landscape. It's an actual landscape book, so hardcover. So you open it, yeah, and I also added in the numbers which I had taken out. So again, for these I had to get the orientation re-changed back. This may or may not make sense in terms of the orientation, but basically on the portrait ones, technically it's one on top of the other, whereas this one's side by side. So if you look at this here, you see one on top of the other, which is just a side by side. So I had to go back to the designer and say, actually, we need to change it back. So that was a bit of an awkward conversation. What I didn't like about this is whatever way it happened, there was a margin obviously on the end on each side, which I wasn't really a fan of. But yeah, that was the journal. When I was first talking to them, they mentioned a coil spine, and I was like, no, I do not want that. I thought it would look more tacky. I wanted proper hardcover. I wanted it to be something that would be really keepsakey and just nice. But the advice that they said, which is why they sent both, is to do a coil, because if you're doing a journal, it lies flat, whereas here you can see it kind of bends up. Now you can always stick it down to write or do whatever, but from my own experience actually of the journals that I've done, that can put strain on the spine, particularly if you're sticking a lot of pictures on. So before they even arrived, my mind was kind of set on the coil, because as you can see, there's a lot of opportunity to add photographs into this journal, and it just gives a lot more kind of give on the spine for that. But also just for writing, it actually does lie a lot better with the spiral binding. On top of that, We also got, as a sample, foil lettering on the front, which is really nice. And they also added a ribbon, which I really wanted the ribbon originally, but then when it came, I'm not actually that happy with it. It's phrase. I'm after cutting that a phrase, which isn't great. And also because, like, normally if you're having a ribbon in a book, it's coming from the center, whereas this, there is no center because it's coil, so it's actually coming from the back here. It's starting to rip. Like, if you have it at the front of the book, you know, it's just very kind of, it's not great. I'm not a fan of it. I asked them actually for the final order to remove the ribbon, and they said it wasn't costing anything extra, so they're just going to add it on anyway. So yeah, I just don't want it to leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. Like, when you first, when it first arrived and I had the ribbon, I was like, oh, that's nice, I like that. But very quickly I was just like, it's not great. So yeah, I just don't want anyone to be disappointed with it. But look, it is what it is. Some people might love the ribbon, and some people, if they don't like it, they can just take it out or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But this is the final version of the book. I absolutely love it. Again, I would never have gone for Spiral Bound on my own, so I'm really glad that I spoke to this other company anyway. Honestly, I might change my printer at a later point, but this is a great starting point just to get the journal out there, and get people seeing the journal. But I think I would maybe go for a different printer in the future once I kind of have everything settled down, and just change a couple of things internally as well. But I'm really proud of the book as it is. Like, I absolutely love it. I would love this for my own pregnancy. I do hope that I get pregnant again just so I can use this journal. There's just so much in it, and I absolutely adore it. But yeah, I'm really proud, and I'm really proud of myself. Like, I really thought, like, creating this initially, like, I just had to, like, get the content made and get the cover made, and then it would be done. I didn't think there'd be like 5 different iterations and a possible 6th one in the future. Do you know, it was a lot more work, and back and forth and heartache than I originally anticipated, but it's worth it in the end. I just absolutely adore this. But again, having the coil, having the foil, not so much the ribbon, but these all add additional cost, a lot more. Like, this is like twice the price than this for me to print, which is not good in terms of like business and margins and everything. However, I just think it's a better, this is kind of what it comes down to, the choice, this one or this one. And it might cost twice as much to make this one, but I'm happier putting my name behind this one than this one, although I do still love this one. So yeah, it's been a journey, but I'm really proud of myself, and it's so exciting. And even just having the product photo shoot, I had it on whatever day I had it, and then the next day a friend of mine sent me a picture of an influencer on Instagram who had received a pregnancy journal that they were working with, and it actually looked very similar to mine, and I was proud of that, because I was like, I'm obviously on the right path if mine is on par with like these other ones that are doing really well. Like, I had the Spiral Bound and everything. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you all my different versions of my journal.